What's up, everybody? Spartan Cards here. This is my breakdown and recap of everything that came out of a full case of 2026 Prism World Cup. First off, 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box, 12 boxes in the case. So we opened 1,728 cards. And the first thing I do want to show you is this right here. So we did manage a full set. So this is 1 through 500, the biggest Panini World Cup set they've ever put out here. These are extra base as well. So the one thing I guess is good is when you spend that much money in a case, you do get the full set. There were a few close calls, as in there were a few players and a few cards that only had one copy of each. There were some I got 6 or 7 of, and but we did get a full 500. So huge set that does play into what I'm going to show you and how the hits come out and how hard they are to actually hit. So with that being said, I'm actually going to start with the inserts and go from there. So first insert we're going to look at, these are called aces. They look like a deck of cards, or an ace from a deck of cards. So again, from 12 boxes, we end up pulling 16 base aces. Some cool names in here, some bigger players, no one like extraordinary. We got Bruno, Luca, a couple Koundés, and awesome Dembele, Foden. Players like this are in here. We got the Jude. And from, besides the 16 aces, ended up with 4 of the silvers. Akluche, Leao, Bruno's a good one there, and Jeremy Doku. So 16 base aces, and 4 silver aces. The next insert, we call these connections, basically teammates from every country. Like here we have Rome and Baku in Germany. Ended up with 15 base connections. There's Scotland, France, Croatia, Spain, Korea, another Germany, different Germany. We got Pepe and Dest on the USA, Colombia, another France, Portugal, Switzerland, Ecuador, Germany, and the Netherlands. So 15 base connections. We get 3 silvers out of the 12 boxes. We got the USA, Pepe and Dest. We got the 2 Gabriels from Brazil, Nico Williams, and Unai Simon from Spain. So again, 15 base connections, 3 silver connections. Then we have the trophy hunting. This is another insert set. Ended up with 15 of the base trophy hunters, or trophy hunting here. Some solid names, some smaller names. You got the guy here from Monteiro from Cape Verde, Caicedo from Ecuador, Semenyo from Ghana. So a couple different interesting countries. Endo, we have 3 of those. There's Sonny Hakimi, Saudi Arabia guy. And we did hit a nice CR7 from the trophy hunting. So again, 15 base trophy hunters, 4 of the silvers, Julian Alvarez, Schlotterbeck, Anderson, and Fede Valverde. Not a bad selection from the silvers that we did hit here. Next insert, the global reach. These are cool because these are they show off some countries you don't typically get inserts for. Obviously, France is not one of them. We got a ton of those. So Nkunku, a couple Kubarsis here. Austria got one for Baumgartner. Canada, Curacao, Jordan, Mexico, Norway, Qatar, Scotland, South Africa, Uzbekistan, and Argentina. So that's why it's the global reach. Pretty cool insert, I guess. 15 of those in the base. We got 2 silvers. LeBron James on the silver global reach, and Omar Marmoush from Egypt and Man City. Also, those are the 2 silvers. So 15 base, 2 silvers. Next insert set, I actually thought this was a cool design. It's a little bit different. These are called Screamers. So we ended up with 16 base Screamers, Koundé, Pepe, and Yemi Martinez, a couple Ferran Torres. There you see the names, 3 Leroy Sané's, because you can never have enough Leroy Sané. Did get the cool, nice little Erling Haaland Screamers. So again, 16 base Screamers. our 2 silvers were Adeyemi and Jules Koundé from France. Next, we had the New Era. So New Era inserts are usually like younger players, up and coming, rookies, stuff like that. Ended up with 14 base New Eras. There you see like a rookie from Maza from Algeria, Naipan from Norway. Some younger guys here, Toure from the Ivory Coast, Mokio, Doué, Estaval, Vuskovic. So here's got, you know, up and coming great defender. No longer playing for Tottenham, or will ever touch the field for Tottenham. And by a rookie, and we did get Lamine Yamal. So Yamal on the New Era insert base. Like I said, we got 14 of the New Era base and 3 silvers. Fofana, and of course, Panini collation here, 2 Warren Zaire-Emerys. So hard to hit a silver, they might as well give you 2 of the same player. Then we have the Scorers Club. That's exactly what that is. It sounds like all the strikers there. So a lot of the guys that should be scoring goals. So Scorers Club, we end up with 15 of the base. Yarzabal, Martinez, Ali, Nunez, Ekitike, Trossard, Mahrez, Rashford, Torres, Lucho from Colombia. We get Harry, we get Holland, we get Ronaldo, and we get the greatest to ever do it, Lionel, in the Scorers Club. So those are the 15 base Scorers Club. Ended up with 2 silvers, Marcus Thuram and Jonathan Burkhardt for Germany. Those are the 2 silvers. And the last insert set, the Phenomenons. So Phenomenon is in pretty much every single Prism set ever. Ended up with 14 Phenomenons. So Saliba, De Jong, Francisco Conceição, Schlotterbeck, Courtois, a couple Martinellis, 3 of them. Luna, didn't even get up there, but we got a Cherky and an Enzo. So those are Phenomenons. Again, 14 of the base Phenomenons. Ended up with 4 silvers, Enzo, Neto, Courtois, and to finish it off, a very nice Lamine Yamal Silver Prism Phenomenon. So that wraps up the inserts that we hit for the entire 12 box case. Like the biggest one was probably, you know, from the base, the Messi, the Ronaldo, and Holland from the Scorer Club, and obviously the Phenomenon, Yamal. So next, people love to go for is obviously we all try to hit those silver prisms. True silvers are the ones we look for more than often, unless they get numbered. So let's go right to them. Box odds are 4 per box. So it'll be 48 per case. And guess how many we got? We got 48. So very good, Panini. Glad you guys did your math and calculate it all out. So again, going back to how big the checklist is, 500 cards. The next portion of this video is going to show how hard it is to hit any individual player. The better players, anything, any specific player are very, very, very hard to hit due to the fact that there are so many cards in the checklist and you get so little of these in a pack, in a box, in a case, or whatever it is. So 48 true silvers, 4 per box, and here they are. So Rodrigo de Paul, Gonzalez, Tagliafico, Nkunku from France, Kimmich from Germany. That's a cool Franz Beckenbauer, Barrios, Marino, Mark Gahey, Jude. It's probably one of our better ones. Probably, maybe even our best one. Madueke, Ugarte, Mahrez is a very good one. And then you got Trossard, Davies, Mbappe, Salah, another very good one. So him and Bellingham probably our 2 best ones. Marmouche is a solid one, as you may see. So we have Obed, Hakimi's a good one. There's Woods, a solid one. Sorloth is a solid one. And it keeps going. So Leao. Again, we get some good names, but none of the elite tier 1s, whatever you want to call it. So no Messi, no Mbappe, no Holland, no Yamal, no Olise, none of the rookies, the big rookies like no Mora, no Diamande. So 48 silvers. I'd say 2 or 3 of them very good. You know, Jude, actually probably just 2 of them. Jude and Sala were the 2 best silvers. Next we have the Pandoras. Pandoras are supposed to come out 2 per box, and Panini got it right again. So 24 Pandoras. Here are the Pandoras. We have Magnus Acluche, Valente, Armando Gonzalez, Arfston. These are cool cards. These are really dope. I like the design of these. Zaire Emery, Nusa, the solid one right there. Again, not the biggest names. We got Christie from Scotland, Mudau from South Africa, this guy from Turkey, Kramaric, this Qatari guy, Fofana from Belgium, Rabiot, Jackson Irvine. Again, no one that you're like, oh my God, thank God I hit this guys. Otabek Shukurov from Uzbekistan, Livano Kamenencia from Curacao, Chris Wood, and who else do we have? Nusa. That's probably our 2 best Pandoras, right? Do we have a Nusa? I thought we had a Nusa. Yeah, there it is. So those are probably the 2 best Pandoras. So 2 per box, maybe 2 are solid. And the next non-numbered parallels from the hobby are the Hyper Prizms. 1 per box. There are 12 of these. And here we are. Prestiani, Nabry, Bentancur, Arias, Livakovic, Lakadia from Curacao, Adel from Egypt, O from Korea, Bonu the goalie from Morocco. Our best one definitely is this gooner right here, Odegaard from Norway, Urunov, and Zidane Iqbal. So again, 12 hypers. That's all you get, the entire case. One of them is solid enough to probably sell and maybe make a little bit of money off of. Everybody else, meh. So that's what it is. This is what you should expect when breaking these boxes. Panini did us, no good with this, in my opinion. I mean, you'll see as we continue on. But the hits are very far and in between. So the first numbers that we're going to go to, we're going to go for kind of the lowest numbers, are the purple Hyper Prizms. We actually end up with 15 of these. First one here is Giuliano Simeone. They are numbered out of 299. So we did hit 15 of them, a little bit more than 1 per box, obviously. And here they are. So Simeone, Acluche, Schlotterbeck, Luciano Rodriguez, Pervis, Paez, Itakura, Jamus, Rangers, Christie, Shaka, Sassi, Uzun, and 2 João Neves. So our best ones are clearly the João Neves, maybe Uzun, maybe Acluche. Again, no big names. The Paez and Pervis are solid. But again, no monsters here. The 2 Neves are solid. They are solid, and they're at a $2.99 for the purple prism. So again, 15 of these in the entire case. Next number parallels are the orange mosaics. These are numbered here out of 215. So interesting number, but that's what it is. The orange Pandoras. These are cool. So we get 13 of them, just over 1 per box. So here is Christopher Nkunku, Huijsen, Samu from Spain, Marquinhos, De Arrascaeta, Cercati from Australia, Mojica, Colombia, Cody Gakpo. This is dope. It's a cool colored match. Again, out of 215. Rodriguez from Panama, Conceição from Portugal, Miller from Scotland, Achuri, Tunisia, and Mukau from Congo. So, again, no one super crazy big here at all. The biggest ones are, I guess, the Nkunku, Huijsen, you play Samu's all right, Marquinhos is all right. Gakpo, maybe. He did have the goal. Conceição, maybe. So, again, no one super big here. No big crazy names here. Next, we go into the numbers. I do like this one a lot. This is called the Old Glory Prism. So these are out of 94. It has the stars. Represents the U.S. And I guess when we last hosted in 1994, we actually hit 9 of these. So 9 of the blue, cool Old Glories. one of which I think is an absolute banger. And here we go. Jeremy Antonise from Curacao on the rookie again. These are out of 94. Jordan Ayew, Vasquez from Mexico, Luis Malagon, and you're not Panini unless you get two of the same short printed card in an entire case. Hannibal from Tunisia, Achuri from Tunisia, Pavel Solch from Czechia, and our biggest hit here so far, Ibrahim Mbaye, rookie from Senegal, 5 out of 94. I can put that one right there. So we do end up with 9 of the old glories, one big one, Ibrahim Mbaye. Nice hit there. Next, so we're representing all the host countries, is the, what do we call this? The Maple Leaf Prism. I like calling it the Maple Syrup or the Log Cabin or the Mountie. I don't know. These are numbered out of 86, and we only got 2. That's it. Interesting. Would expect to be more, but all I got was 2 out of the entire case. One's a great one for me as an American. I love it. Tyler Adams, 84 out of 86, and from Congo, who had a hell of an effort, almost pulled it out against England. Mukau on the rookie, again, 66 out of 86. These are cool cards too. That's that one. Okay, so only 2 of the Maple Leaf Prisms here. Then we have an interesting one, which I think is also a beautiful parallel. These are called the Aguila. These have to do with the Mexico. These represent Mexico. These are numbered out of 70. So this one from Malik Thial is 66 out of 70. That's the last time they hosted. So first thing I noticed here, we actually ended up with 7 of these. These are shorter printed than the Maple Leafs. We ended up with 7 of these, but only 2 of these, but whatever, I'm not really complaining. The first interesting thing here, without even seeing the players, are look at the difference in the color. This is like a nice dark green, and these 3, and then these other 4 are kind of like a lighter yellow green. I don't know if that's a printing issue, if that's on purpose. I have no idea. But they are definitely different colored. One is darker, one is lighter. It's not my camera. It is the facts. So we got 7 of these out of 70. Malik Thial, Jorthi Mokio, rookie from Belgium, Jonathan David from Canada, Josip Stanisic from Croatia, Johan Vasquez, Mexico, Cody Gakpo again from the Netherlands, and João Cancelo. So all out of 70. Again, no crazy big players, but these are better to work with than the other ones. I mean, obviously you got some better countries here. No disrespect to other countries, but we all know what we're talking about. Like Germany, people collect Germany more than they do, you know, Curacao or Jordan or whatever it is. Belgium, Canada, Croatia, Mexico, Netherlands, and Portugal. So all kind of highly collected countries and teams and players here. So these are solid and they're cool. So out of 70 on the Aguila Prisms. Next we have out of 61. These are the Prism logo Prism of Panini logo. As you see there, it's embedded, the Panini logo. So for those that don't know, Panini was actually founded and invented in 1961, which is why these are out of 61. Ended up with 5 in the entire case. Here is Rodrigo, 40 out of 61. Great player. Don't understand why he gets 0 hobby love, but Brazil, Real Madrid, awesome player, Rodrigo. Tani from Canada. I know he's a popular player from the MLS. I forget where he plays. I don't think it's Vancouver, but Canadian here. Again, 30 out of 61. Telmo Arcanjo from Cabo Verde on the rookie, 10 of 61. Yeah, all right. Julio Enciso from Paraguay. I know he scored a goal in the World Cup. That one is 50 out of 61. And the last one was Bril Embolo from Switzerland, 3 out of 61. Unfortunately, no big names here because, again, dealing with a 500 card checklist. you're going to get guys like Telmo Arcanjo from Cabo Verde. Rodrigo's nice, but unfortunately does not get the hobby love that he probably deserves. So 5 of those. Next we had the True Red Prism. These are cool because some of these come with some very nice color matches. Ended up with actually 5 of these. 5 True Reds, some solid players here. 5 True Reds in the case. First is Bruno Guimarães, 6 out of 50. So the True Reds this year are out of 50. So Bruno from Brazil, Newcastle. There's Anthony Gordon, the new Barcelona man, 30 out of 50. We got Raul Jimenez from Mexico, 13 out of 50. Beautiful color match on Samu from Spain. We got 6 out of 50, and the last one also an awesome color match. Kyle Larin for Canada. This one was 39 out of 50. Again, not the biggest names, but better names than some other parallels we got. Bruno G is a good one. Anthony Gordon, Jimenez. The Mexico fans will love this one. Obviously, Samu from Spain and Kyle Larin from Canada. So all 5 of these here are pretty collectible. And next we have the True Blues. The True Blues, these are actually out of 40. Ended up, it's weird, these were out of 50, these are out of 40, only ended up with 2 in the entire case. Francisco Conceição, 18 out of 40, and then we get this guy, Mahmoud El Mardi from Jordan, 38 out of 40. I don't know any guys that collect cards from Jordan, but maybe there's someone out there. But this is probably like a $2 card. I have no idea. So True Blue out of 40, and that's all we got. Just 2 in the entire case. Next we have the Cracked Ice. When I first saw this, I actually didn't realize what it was. I thought it was like a Pandora, but these are cool. Cracked Ice. We only got 1 in the case. These are out of 23. So we got Camilo Vargas, 6 out of 23, goalie for Colombia here. Very cool card, but again, not like the greatest player one. Colombia is very highly sought after, very collectible. Lots of people will collect it, but wish it was one of the better players on the team. First pack of the first box in the entire break, we did hit gold. We hit gold, true gold, but here's who it was. Nawaf Bouchal from Saudi Arabia, rookie card, true gold, 3 out of 10. Like, this is what happens when you have 500 cards in a checklist and FIFA allows 48 teams to enter, and you have this dude from Saudi Arabia. So what should be one of the bigger hits in the case, you get Nawaf Bouchal from Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Next we had 1 green out of 5. It is a solid one. I was super excited when I saw the jersey, but it wasn't the best player, but it's okay. This one we're not mad at. Nico Williams from Spain. Obviously wish it was Yamal, but it is what it is. 5 out of 5. So therefore it's obviously a 1 of 1. Really cool card. That is the Nico. I don't know why I'm not using these things here. Actually, that's why I brought them out to put some cool stuff in here. So Nico Williams, 5 out of 5 for Spain. We got no blacks, so no 1 of 1s, no black. I don't know what the odds are. I heard maybe 1 every 2 cases, 1 every 3 cases. I got 0. The other case hits are right here. So we did get one of these posters. I guess it's 1 per case. These are all case hits, I guess. A cool one here. This is the Monterey one. So we get the Monterey World Cup poster. We did get 1 team badge. It's an awesome one, I think, in my opinion. We did get the mighty, mighty, fantastic United States. Cool card, team badge. 1 national pride, Cody Gakpo. He was chasing me the entire case. We had 3 big Cody Gakpo hits, I guess. Cody Gakpo, national pride case hit for the Netherlands. We did hit one of these alter egos. legendary German psychopath goalie, Oliver Kahn. Cool card. Go watch some highlights. This dude would just punch people in the face in mid-game, but he was a hell of a player too. We did hit one snakeskin. It's actually not snakeskin. It's actually called a rattlesnake this year. One rattlesnake prism. Trent Alexander-Arnold for England. It's not numbered. These are really cool. Again, I wish it was a better player, but when you're getting 1 out of 500, it's better to get Trent than this dude. All right, so those were the other case hit inserts. Now let's go to the autos. The autos, in my opinion, so, you know, we're expecting to get 1 autograph per box. And this is where I start complaining about how this product, in my opinion, if you are breaking 1 box here, it is so hit or miss. In my opinion, for the cost of it, it is a huge ripoff. Yep, I said it. For what it costs and what you're actually getting on it. And I'm going to show off the 12 autographs that we did hit. Some of them are just like, why is this even? 2 of them in particular, like, why are they in the set? So the first one, I have these actually in order based off what I believe were the best, actually went from worst to best autographs that we got in each of these boxes. So the first one is like a what the fudge, dude. Like, why does Thomas Dooley from the 1994 U.S. team need an autograph in this box? I get it. We're hosting it. I understand all that. But come on. Thomas frickin' Dooley, dude. No disrespect to Thomas frickin' Dooley. But, you know, Thomas Dooley. So that's autograph number 1. Next, we have Ludovic Gili. Used to play for France. Yeah, he might be the Thomas Dooley of France. I don't know. He's probably better than Thomas Dooley because he is French. That automatically makes you better. But that's another autograph. So this came out of another box. Ludovic Gili. Like, you're buying this for $800 or whatever the price is, and you are pulling a Thomas Dooley along with, you know, a random, pick any of these purple prisms that you got as your big hit. It's tough. It's tough to consider. Yeah, I'm gonna go break a box of these. Rudi Völler, German legend, but again, not really any hobby love on the retro autograph. This is the base retro autograph. I know Germans like him. You know, played a big part in the '86 final. Was a big striker. But yeah, it's Rudi Völler. I mean, it's better than the other 2, but it's Rudi Völler. Then we have Redemption. Bernardo Silva, International Ink. It does get a little better here. Again, this is kind of my ranking off of it. International Ink, Bernardo Silva from Portugal. So a solid player. Gets a little hobby love. Man City obviously was on it. And Portugal. But it's a Redemption, International Ink. That's one of the autographs. Next, we have National Heroes, Silver. This is a cool one. Philipp Lahm, another German legend. 31 out of 75 on the silver Philipp Lahm. Okay, so now let's go back. We're at 5 autographs. Do any of these, like, say, okay, these are worth the price of a box? No. Does this one? No. But it's a cool one though. Ricardo Carvalho, Portuguese legend here on the silver penmanship, 7 out of 75. So those are our first 6 autos. Number 7, Brazilian legend Romário, fantastic player. You know, scored a 1-0. Yeah, scored the goal in the semifinal against Sweden back in the day. That was what, 94, I guess. But it's Romário. Okay, I mean, this will sell for a little bit, but we are 7 autographs in. And do any of these, like, say, oh man, I have to go buy a box of this right now? Number 8, Emilio Butragueno, Spanish legend, played for Real Madrid, was a striker, scored a lot of goals for them. Blue International Ink, low numbered, 11 out of 25. But again, like I know who he is, I've heard of him, but a lot of people don't. I'm putting this ranked this high just because it is out of 25, and I think this will get a pretty good, somebody will want this All right, Julian Alvarez on the retro silver autograph. It is very pretty. 1 out of 75. So first on print, we get Julian on the silver. And then 3 more to go. I actually think this might be my favorite one. Guillermo Ochoa, silver retro auto. Again, out of 75, 25 out of 75. Cool auto. But again, none of these are worth the price of the box. Another redemption. This time it's Harry. Sir Harry. A very good one here. Obviously a very good one. National Heroes Harry Kane. But is it a redemption? It is a redemption, so we're going to have to wait for this. You know, so whoever redeems it, might be me. I might keep this one. I do love Harry. But that is probably the second best autograph of the 12 boxes. And then probably the best autograph that I got. Didier, Red National Heroes out of 49. 10 out of 49 for Didier Drogba from Ivory Coast. Legend, Chelsea legend. But again, none of these are worth 850 bucks. So that leads us to the final 2 cards. I am going to complain about the fact that these, as a set, as a box, I honestly do not think it's worth it unless you hit an absolute nuke and you get very, very lucky in your case, which I kind of did. And I'm going to show you off here. But if I was buying individual boxes, I would probably stay away from these because your hits are very, very, very tough to get. You're not getting the best players. But like I said, when you do buy a case, you are obviously, you know, more likely than not to get something hopefully extraordinary. We did get 2 extraordinary cards. I don't know which one of these 2 is the more extraordinary. I'm going to kind of do it based off of how I felt when I opened it. So the first one in that same box that I had, that gold guy from Saudi Arabia, this came out probably like pack number 7 or 8. And there it is. We did pull a Cristiano Ronaldo manga. This thing is gorgeous. So this is covering the case. And then some probably. So we are gravy on Cristiano. No complaints on this one. So what I'll say is, obviously, when I hit a card like this, I cannot complain about everything else that is in this pile that is worth absolutely nothing. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to rub this into people like, oh, look, I didn't hit this, though. I'm just kind of showing off what you are able to hit in this box and what you're most likely going to hit in this box. I got very lucky with this manga. There are, 20 other ones in this set? I don't know exactly how many there are. There are a lot of weaker players. I got probably the 2nd or 3rd best one in the whole set. Besides Messi and maybe Yamal, it's CR7. So Messi and CR7, probably the top 2, obviously. Maybe him and Yamal, whatever. So obviously, very lucky that I hit this card. Huge, huge, huge. And the fact that I hit in my first box, I was like, oh man, I guess the rest of the 11, I'm not going to get anything crazy. That's not true. And one of the boxes, I guess it was box number 10. I've never really paused when I saw how pretty a card is in my entire life until I saw this one. Like, I've hit some crazy stuff in my past, but this one literally just kind of like made me say, holy cow. Panini, you guys did amazing on this one. One of the prettiest cards I have ever held in my entire life. It really is, in the light, so stunning. Again, not the best player you can hit in this set, but the significance of this guy, the significance of this set. Again, I got very lucky with this. I don't think cases are supposed to be like this, but my favorite card, and I would think it might not be the biggest hit. It might be the Ronaldo. It might be this one. I mean, wow. National Landmarks Gold Thierry Henry, 2 out of 10. like the lighting. I mean, you need to see this in person. This thing is glorious. So obviously, these two monsters made up for everything else that did or did not come out of this case. But that is my kind of recap and review on what to expect when breaking this product. I appreciate it if you made it all the way out here in 35, 36, whatever minutes I've been filming this. If you guys like this content, please, let me know. Leave a comment, like it, share it, share my page, like my page, follow me on Instagram, Spartan Cards PHL. If any of these cards interest you at all, not sure what I'm doing with these two yet. I kind of have an idea, but not sure. Please reach out, and we'll see what we can do making a deal. But in the meantime, I appreciate you all hanging out with me, being patient as we go through this entire story of what to expect in this 12-box break of this product. These two are obviously monsters. Thank you, Panini, for let me hit these two in my case, but the rest of it, again, I don't want to complain because I did hit these two, but I'm just thinking of it as like a retail buyer. If I was hitting these autographs, I would be so disappointed until I hit one of these monsters. So again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, peace.